Hey, it's been a while, hasn't it? I've got a bit of a confession to make. I think I might have gotten a bit too teched out lately. Too many gadgets, too many settings, and way too little time. But here's the strange thing. With all the tech in my space, the thing that still ends up feeling the most satisfying, that special part of my day that never fails to fulfill me, is just drawing. So how does this happen? How do you spend years of reviewing products, building the best setups, and creating tutorials, only to find that the act that got you started still carries the most meaning? The answer, at least for me, is burnout. Going too hard for too long. And if I'm being real, capitalism probably plays a big role too. There's always more to buy, right? Hey, that thing you love to do? Yeah. Guess what? You can do it even faster, better, stronger, so that you can make more money and buy more stuff. I think you get the picture here. With that being said, I've done plenty of desk and studio tours in the past, but this one will be different. This isn't about listing every single tool and its price point or showing you how many cables I've hidden, even though I am really proud of that this time. This setup marks an important shift in how I work and how I live, because when you burn out, you can't just keep grinding at it the same way. What I needed was a reset, and for me, that reset came from intentionally redesigning my space, making it calmer and more efficient. So today, I want to share not only how my setup has evolved, but also how it's helping me rebuild focus, direction, and creativity. And the timing could not have been any better, because Desky, the sponsor of this video, sent me a beautiful brand new desk that became the foundation for this critical shift. Burnout made my world feel complicated, scattered, and overwhelming. I'd swing back and forth from paralysis to overworking, and nothing really stuck. Clutter would begin to stack up, and I eventually took less and less care of myself. If you saw my last desk tour, everything was clearly over the top. So many of the decisions I made were silently stressing me out. Instead of providing any real value or function, it's like I was convinced that the solution to my struggles had to be detailed and meticulous. I spent hours diving into topics and learning skills that only had a marginal effect, if at all, on the overall quality of my work. And if I'm going to be honest, I think I was distracting myself to avoid a lot of bad feelings. What finally helped me, though, was simplifying. I chose one thing at a time to fix, finished it, and then moved on. That mindset is exactly what I brought into redesigning my space. No more half-finished scenarios. I was going to go all in, and my new desk was the first piece to that puzzle. Desky's walnut desktop set the tone. Warm, minimal, and comfortable. I stripped things back to only what I needed. One monitor, a clean laptop stand, and room to breathe. I could get rid of my speakers since my Apple Studio display already had them, and they were taking up way too much space on my desk already. What I love about this desk is how it makes simplicity easy. The full width cable tray and built-in power outlets meant that I could actually have clean cable management from the start, which has never happened before. The OLED controller lets me save preset heights, so whether I'm animating, sketching, or recording, I can change things up and move around without breaking flow. It even has voice command features to control your desk hands-free. Desky, arise. Desky also sent me their wooden monitor stand, which matches perfectly with the desk and keeps the space centered and organized without too much extra complexity. It helps me keep a lot of little things out of sight as well. These are all small details, but they add up to a big change in how the space feels, and how it feels matters a lot. I took things further with the space around me. Instead of plain flat surfaces and a distracting window, I decorated the new wall in front of me with warm shoji panels. To my left, I mounted walnut slat wall panels to make the room feel taller and more cohesive. Taking the time to mount artwork in the perfect places is something I never used to make time for, but now I notice that it makes everything I do feel more important. Not so much on the minute details, but more of the intention and the overall impact that anyone will see. Having more free space on my desk lets me move more gracefully with the natural ebbs and flows of the day. Taking morning supplements, eating lunch, and staying hydrated are easier when every square inch of my desk isn't already occupied with random stuff. Like I mentioned before, the calmer my space feels, the calmer my process feels. This isn't about just having a pretty desk. When I sit down to draw or animate, I'm not fighting clutter or distraction. I can actually focus on storytelling with every part of my brain. In animation, we talk a lot about flow and guiding the eye and controlling rhythm. We also look at reducing noise so that the main intention of the emotion comes through, and that's exactly what I try to do here. My workspace now mirrors the same principles that I want in my creative work. Clarity makes room for clear intention. Harmonious colors across the environment reduce distraction so that it's easier for me to focus on what's important. Open spaces leave room for me to breathe and allow creative flow to magically dance across the room with every breath that I take. It also helps me maintain proper ergonomics when working longer hours. When I'm creating content for social media, it's also super nice to be able to whip out my camera and not care about cleaning up too much. My space contributes to a long-term sense of credibility and focus that my audience has come to respect. With a few relevant books at my desk, instead of sitting on a shelf somewhere behind me, I'm more likely to grab them if I feel like I need help or inspiration instead of falling into a pothole of endlessly scrolling websites like Pinterest. Of course, at the end of the day, my setup will never be perfectly minimal like most other videos you'll see here on YouTube about desk tours. I mean, I create a lot of video content right here, so there's always going to be gear around me. With that being said, there's still plenty of room for improvement. Lately, I've been following some amazing creators that have been really inspiring with how they tackle these issues. Some of them have even less space than I do. However, this is something that I do plan to enjoy improving over time. There's no need to rush and get it all done ASAP before I really even know what's going on. I'm making it a priority to enjoy the comfort of building reliable foundations into my lifestyle. Whatever I am aware of in the moment, though, I do try to complete it to the best of my ability. To be honest, I don't think I believe in work-life balance anymore as a concept. I think that how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if your work and creativity have a strong foundation, then your life outside of that will follow suit. If your life is chaotic and frustrated, then it's probably going to reflect in your work and how you interact with others. So if you're stuck in your own cycle of clutter or burnout, maybe think about how your environment can support you instead of subconsciously hold you back. And again, huge thanks to Desky for sending me this amazing walnut desk. It's truly a beautifully functional work of art in and of itself. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll try to be here a little bit more frequently in the coming months, but keep drawing and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.